So there's like a terrible popping noise that happens in the middle of this video for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. Well, correction. I do know what it is, and I fixed it, but I'm not recording twice. So, with that being said. Alright. So, I've been playing Back for Blood for at least about, however long it's come out, right? And the best thing about this game, I would have to say, is probably gonna be about the friends that you make along the way. Nah, I'm joking. But seriously, the best thing about this game are the cards. The cards in this game are just so... The supply line cards are so addictive to actually get into. So here's the thing. For people who don't play this game, the supply line cards actually... How do I explain supply line cards for people who don't play games? Supply line cards in Back for Blood are your perks essentially in life. So let's say a guy like me, I would be pretty efficient at using toolkits, and I'd be pretty efficient at, let's say, anything technology based. But I'd say if my character was in Back for Blood, I would have maybe some high stamina, but not a lot of strength, even though that's a total lie. But regardless of which, the cards in Back for Blood, the best thing about them is that you wouldn't think that they actually do stuff, but they do. And one thing I hate about a game is that I hate when a game gives you additional attributes to your character's stats and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel like it's actually being applied. Luckily for Back for Blood, that actually does happen. So with the majority of cards that you have that you start off with, I'd say they're pretty low tier. They start off with some simple stuff like, you know, better stamina, better health, some pretty level 1 stuff, even though some of the cards are actually pretty good for Nightmare mode, which I'll get into for a sec. But overall, the one thing that surprised me about Back for Blood is that the mechanics in their game actually work. And what I mean by that is, yeah, everyone has like not necessarily the same move speed, but if you want, you can attribute things more to your move speed. If you want, you can attribute more things to have a higher melee attack, as well as things like, you know, bullet damage and not taking so much corrosive damage when you're out there in the field and stuff. The thing about these cards is that, like I said before, they actually work, and it really does bother me when I have a game that attributes stat points to me, but you don't feel like your character's getting any different. Back for Blood completely changes all that. So the area in Bridgetown gives you, like, I want to say, a combination of like what you'll need, not necessarily offensive, defensive, but like right in between. So let's say, you know, 10% of total copper gain for each safe room. That's something that's gonna happen in between game, as well as sprint efficiency, kind of in between game. But if I'm gonna be honest, something like this, your secondary weapons have unlimited ammo. That feels like an offensive thing to me, but like I said, it's like a combination of both in between. In fact, if we want to get a little deeper into this... Okay, so from using this online example, someone actually made an Excel sheet out of all the cards that you can actually get inside. So, in orange, you have offensive. Blue, defensive, like I said before. But in green, over here, you have the Bridgetown stuff. And the thing about the Bridgetown stuff, if I can get over to this. Alright, this is when things get a little bit complicated. But it's actually worth it, because if you don't do this, then you're going to have a very hard time trying to play veteran. Let's try to get over to... Okay, utility. They're more than likely based on utility cards. So we try to keep track of all the utility cards. I want to say it's... Yeah, cards like this. Utility. Discipline, ammo scavenger. You can sense nearby ammo, more ammo spawns. Stuff like that. As well as, let's see another one. Utility, reflex. And it's called breakout. You can break out by holding square or E or X on your keyboard to free yourself from grabs. It's a 60% chance to break out, cooldown reduction. The base is 60 seconds. And just to give one more example, let's go down to actually my favorite one for the campaign is going to be Utility, Copper Scavenger. You can sense nearby copper and more copper pile spawn. That was actually hard to say. So yeah, when it comes to basically, I want to say the concept of Bridgetown, it's just basically giving you a better opportunity to play the game with stuff that happens in between. Man, that was a really hard transition. But yeah, this bottom level, it just basically helps you with stuff that you may not notice that you're doing, but it helps you in between games so that when you finally finish, you have a little something extra that you didn't know that you were doing in between mid-game. This stuff really, really, really boils down when it comes to Nightmare difficulty. In fact, if I can give you a little example real quick, Nightmare difficulty, it gives you so less to work with other than just getting high damage. First things first, friendly fire is on at 60%. So if you shoot your teammates, you actually shoot your teammates. And they take damage, which means that you can't actually shoot your teammates. You have to be precise about what you're actually shooting at. Not only that, but cleaners take increased trauma damage, which is you, and you have one less life. So inside the game, or I guess you could say other games, there's a mechanic that you can use where you can down your teammate, and then if you revive them, they'll have more health than when they went down with. In this game, they're not going to let you do that. So you only get one revive, and after that, once you go down, you're out of the game completely. Not only that, but the Ridden also have increased health. The Ridden are basically the zombies. They have increased health, higher damage, and a greater variety of them will spawn. Not only that, but no card draws or additional resources when continues are used. So if you... I actually don't know what that means. I think that means that if you die, if your entire team dies, you do not get another card after that to choose. I'm not sure what that means. But regardless of which, the corruption card pool is going to be at its maximums, which means that for everything that they can do against you is going to be a lot higher, and they're going to have a variety of things that they can do as well. So yeah, to put things into perspective, Back 4 Blood's best mechanic inside this game is definitely going to be for cards. And if we're being honest, what's this? Vengeance difficulty? Vengeance difficulty is a step down from Nightmare, and as you can see, it gives you friendly fire 35%. And, you know, it doesn't give you a... It's pretty hard, but it's not as hard as doing Nightmare. But, like I said before, these cards, they will save your life. So to make a long story short, if you were to ask me, what is the funnest thing about this goddamn game, I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be progressing the story mode, it's not gonna be shooting zombies in the head, it's gonna be collecting points for your supply line so that you can get supply line cards, which are essentially perks for your character, so that the game is a little bit easier necessarily, so that you can finally have a chance to play on the higher difficulties, because the higher difficulties earn you with more rewards. As always, I didn't think I would actually rant this hard about this game, but like I said, Back 4 Blood, if you play Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood is definitely going to be the game for you, and most certainly so. It's definitely the game that I would say, it's definitely one of the better co-op games that you could play this year with some friends that you have, especially if you're playing online. I don't think you can do couch co-op, but I'm pretty sure, you know, no one really cares about couch co-op these days, except OG veteran players like me. But regardless of which, as always, if you like hearing me rant about stuff, which I love to rant about stuff video game based, my name is Chaos the Gamer, and yeah, I think you're coming around. And what is that thing I like to tell people? Oh yeah, GG's.